Yeah, they lit the sky like the world's on fire. Same old cry, same tired choir. I ran through the night with a cape on tight. Thought they wanted change, nah, just another fight. Cliff up ahead, seen it all before. Same sad story, same revolving door. Run to the rescue, patch up the pain. Next day comes, they do it again. Stop mid-stride, heart went cold. This hero life, them got too old. Flip that switch, let the signal die. Laid down the cape, didn't say goodbye. Gave them the tools, gave game, gave rope. They ain't want work, just drama and hope. I saved a storm, it was killing my peace. So I turned my back, let the chaos cease.
Kill the light, save my life, that's the plan. No more fire drills on the man. If you want out, better learn to fight. 'Cause I'm done being hero every night. Yeah.
Save my life, let the sky go black. No more running through the flames, I ain't coming right back. You want change? Better stand and fight. 'Cause tonight I'm done, yeah, I'm killing that light. Save my life, let the sky go black. No more running through the flames, I ain't coming right back. You want change? Better stand and fight. 'Cause tonight I'm done, yeah, I'm killing that light. No cape on my back, yeah, I walked through the rain. Cut ties with the drama, broke chains from the pain. They gon' call it cold, they gon' call it a sin. But I done saved the same world time and again. Now I'm choosing my peace, yeah, I'm guarding my space. No more sprinting through fires just to fall out of place. If the bridge keeps burning, let the ashes stay. I ain't dying on a hill, they keep building this way. Now the nights stay quiet, no lights in the sky. Ain't no call for a hero, no reason to fly. They can stand on their own, yeah, the tools been there. But they rather call me back just to prove I care. I done gave all the game, every map, every key. If they stay in the storm, that ain't on me. I'ma ride for my peace, keep my soul intact. Once the cape hit the ground, I ain't taking it back, never.
Your power changes everything. There's a thin line between showing compassion and letting people drain you dry. Anybody trying to grow for real runs into this sooner or later. When you start getting your mind right and your spirit is getting disciplined, people with heavy problems start showing up around you. Some are really trying to change, and others just want somewhere to dump their pain so they can keep moving the same way. You got to know the difference. Everybody asking for help isn't trying to heal. Some people are just looking for energy that they don't have. They may see you as somebody stable and then they'll latch on, hoping your clarity will do the work for them instead of them investing in their own work. A lot of people got good hearts and then they'll get caught up. Your light was not meant to be something people keep feeding off of while they stay the same. When you keep pouring into people who refuse to change, you start draining the very strength that helped you get here. That's how people lose themselves by thinking they're doing something noble, you know. Some of our ancestors already knew that protection mattered just as much as having compassion. And everybody should not get access to your inner circle. And that wasn't them being nasty or anything. It was just wisdom. So if you're walking in this path, you got to move with some awareness, the same as theirs. technically. Don't burn yourselves out trying to save people who aren't trying to change. Learn how to stand in your light without letting the world treat it like an open outlet so they can plug in. You don't have to sacrifice your energy, but you can learn how to hold on to it a little bit better. Welcome to Blended Healing. Your power changes everything. You are the alchemist, versing the energy vampires. And how can you protect your power changes everything. Everything.
It comes in waves like a thief in the night, making my heart ache, scaring me awake from my most happy and peaceful dreams. You had me coasting along like a ship in the calming sea. And yes, I was caught up in your fantasy. I see. Now how will you play these games? Through the smoke and the mirrors had me thinking I was to blame. No more chances, 3 strikes and you're out. Game is over, never get another chance to break my heart. Find your way back into my heart. Find your way back into my soul. Never again. Find your way back into my life.
Let me ask you a question. Are you really helping people heal? Or are you just getting drained by people who don't want to fix themselves? I know that you're all about to avoid that question, especially when you care about people. It's easy to mistake somebody else's struggle constantly for a real attempt to change. But sometimes what looks like vulnerability is really somebody looking for a place to unload their problems without doing the work to solve them. Next thing you know, you're the one listening, always the one explaining, always the one helping. Then calm down after the same situation keeps repeating itself. That's not healing. That's maintenance. You start giving your time, attention, insight, trying to help them to see a better way. But if the other person never changes their behavior, all that energy just keeps getting pulled from you. At that point, you're not guiding growth anymore. You keep it, and you're becoming a power source for people who don't want to change. Real healing requires effort on both sides. Somebody who wants to change has to look at how they move, not just what they say. And without effort, compassion stops being support. It starts turning into something people ready to consume, which is your energy. The person trying to help ends up carrying everything, and loss of your own energy. Let me give you an urgent warning right now off the rip. Your energy is not endless. Every time you keep trying to force somebody to change who has no intention of changing, you're pulling power away from your own path. People who live in constant chaos know how to lean on somebody with empathy. If you don't have boundaries, they're going to keep pulling from you because it's easier than fixing their own habits. And that's how the imbalance starts. You keep stepping in, trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho, rescuing. Here I am to save the day. That type shit. Stop trying to calm all the storms that never was yours anyway. Meanwhile, nothing actually changes. The cycle keeps repeating, and before you know it, you realize that you've been standing inside the same mess that you were trying to help somebody get out of. That's the trap. Our ancestors did not build strength in us just so we can be drained by everybody who refuses to move accordingly. What they passed down was meant for us to guide people forward, not to get worn down by the same problems over and over and over again. So at some point, you're going to have to make a decision. Stop feeding energy into situations that go nowhere. Stand firm in your own power and let people decide for themselves if they're ready to move accordingly or different. You feel me? Here's something else. Walking the path of an alchemist is not a sword. It's a balance that you got to learn how to hold on to. On one side, you have the ability to take pain, pressure, and hard experiences and turn them into wisdom. On the other side, there's always people around who see the light in you and want to feed off of it without doing their own work. That's the danger right there. People who haven't handled their own issues can spot stability a mile away. The same way a moth sees a flame. They're drawn to the light, but not every moth is trying to transform. Some just want to sit close enough to feel the warmth. And there's a lot of people with good intentions getting caught up and caught slipping. You were never meant to be some endless power source for people who refuse to do anything different. Your role was never to burn yourself out, trying to keep everybody else going. You're supposed to be a catalyst, somebody who shows what growth looks like, who can guide it when it makes sense, but still stands firm in your own discipline. When you stop and then you start protecting your energy, people sometimes think that you changed or you got distance or you're being, you know, thinking that you better. But that's not what's happening. You're just getting clear. And when your vision is clear, the people who really ready to grow will recognize their own path. The rest will keep moving the way that they always have. Always.
I start on left bare feet and wet sand. Ocean knows my name before I ever speak back. Salt in the skin, wind in my hair. Standing where water meets sky, I'm aware. I look up once, heaven responds. White light moves through, truth carries on. Had to walk alone, never did. Body and clothes keeps me for what I skip. He don't say much, just stands his ground. Every near miss, he was around. I'd only pray to touch her tonight. I carry it all. I carry it fine.
Your power changes everything. You are the alchemist. But you alchemists need to press the reset button trap. When you start getting your mind right and moving through life with some discipline, you're going to know something real quick. People who stay surrounded by chaos start drifting your way. It's just because standing next to somebody stable makes their situation feel calm for about a minute. And then a small moment of calm gets mistaken for progress. But feeling better during a conversation is the same thing as fixing your life. You see the difference by watching how people move after the talk is over. Somebody serious about getting their life together starts moving different. They check their own behavior and then they try another approach. They take responsibility for the choices that they keep putting themselves in the same position. It may not be perfect, but you can see the effort in how they carry themselves. Then there's the other pattern. Same mistakes, same reaction, same cycle, playing out again and again. You break things down, you explain where it went wrong, give them a clear way to move different. They agree with everything while you're talking, but the next time you hear from them, the situation is right back where it started. And that's when you start seeing what's really good. Some people ain't trying to rebuild their life. They're just trying to survive the moment without dealing with the habits that they keep creating, the mess in the first place. They look for somebody like you who would calm things down, help them think straight for about a minute. And then once the pressure passes, then they go right back to the same behavior. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to slowly become the reset button. Every conversation becomes their crisis. Your advice never turns into action. Then when the interaction is over, you feel drained of energy. That doesn't match how long the conversation even lasted. And usually, that's the first sign something is off. Even when somebody is struggling, you still see the effort on their side. You should see them trying to fix their steps and move with some type of responsibility. When all the movement is coming from you, that's not support anymore. That's dependence. And that's when you kick into gear and check yourself, because everybody's asking for help isn't ready for change. Some people are just looking for somewhere to unload their problems that they keep creating. And once you learn to recognize the difference, you can protect your time, your focus, your energy from getting pulled into the cycles that were never yours. Your power changes everything. Everything. Who gets access to you? The basics of boundaries. A lot of people hear the word boundaries and they think it means shutting people out. That's not really what it is. A real boundary works more like a filter. It ain't about blocking the world. It's about deciding what kind of energy gets access to you. A boundary line is not for you. I'm sorry, strike that. A boundary line is for you, not for them, but for you. Everybody carries a certain type of energy in how they move, how they talk, how they deal with life. And the problem today is people try to make you feel guilty for using that filter. And when you start setting your limits, somebody going to start saying that you acting funny, cold, or selfish. But most of that pushback comes from people who are comfortable when you had none. When somebody refuses to handle their own life, it benefits them to keep having access to someone who will absorb the pressure from them for them. And the moment you stop doing that, then you're the problem. But saying no is not being cruel or anything like that. It's just being clear. You're not responsible for holding on to problems that somebody else refuses to deal with. People who are serious about getting their life together are gonna respect the boundary because they understand the discipline. And the one who pushes up against it real hard are usually those same ones who are getting the most out of you having none. You have to stop being intentional about who gets close to you. Everybody doesn't deserve the same level of access. Some people are better kept at a distance. Some people are fine in small doses. And then there's a small circle of people who moves with accountability and respect. Those are the ones you keep close. You figure that out by watching their patterns, not listening to promises. How somebody moves under pressure will tell you more than anything that they say. Do they correct themselves when they're wrong, or do they blame everybody else around them? Do they actually move different after advice, or do they keep circling the same block? And after a while, the pattern becomes obvious. People who are building something will naturally respect the structure of your life. Your boundaries are what decides who gets through the door. And everybody isn't going to like it. And that's cool. The goal isn't to be liked by everybody. The goal is to protect yourself and what's around you so you can keep growing without getting pulled back into somebody else's unfinished battles. You dig? Trust me. Stop being everybody's emotional dumping ground. There's a difference between taking pain and turning it into wisdom and becoming a place where everybody dumps their problems. Somebody who knows how to transform hardship can take pressure, learn from it, and turn it into knowledge that helps others move smarter. That's an alchemist. But when people start using you like a drop-off point for every issue that they don't want to fix, that's not transformation anymore. That's consumption. If you have strong empathy, you're going to fall into that trap because you listen, you understand what people are going through, and you try to help them carry that. At first, it feels right, like you're doing what you're supposed to do. But if that empathy isn't backed up by discipline, it turns into open access. Everybody's stressed, bad decisions, the emotion, roller coaster starts flowing in your direction. And that's when frustration starts building up because the balance that you had or once had is gone, and you keep giving patience, clarity, and energy while the other person keeps repeating the same shit over and over and over and over again. That they created the problem in the first place. And after a while, you realize that you're not watching somebody grow. You watching them play in your face by repeating the same cycle over and over. And that's when your perspective has to change. You're not meant to run around here trying to rescue everybody. I done told you that before. The role is going to drain you. Instead of becoming the rescuer, you can become the lighthouse instead. A lighthouse doesn't chase ships through the ocean trying to save them. It stands in one place, steady and visible. The light is there for someone who wants to navigate better, but the ship still has to steer itself. You dig? You got it? The same thing applies right here. Your responsibility is to keep your mind clear and your life structured so people can see what stability actually looks like. And the ones who are ready will use that light to guide their own way of moving. The ones who aren't ready are going to keep drifting until they decide to move different. Either way, the lighthouse stays standing, and it doesn't chase every storm, and it doesn't fall under the weight of the waves passing through. You feel me? You got it now? You got it? You got it? Your power changes everything. You're the alchemist. Stop allowing people to keep plugging into you and taking your energy. Stop. Stop it.
Stop playing small. Stop hiding. Take the cap off. Let it breathe.
Every great record starts with a story. Before the microphones, before the mix, it's figuring out what you really want to say. If you can name it, you can shape it, and if you can shape it, you can make people.
For me, it's all about collaboration over competition. When we get in this room and listen to the music, it's not about ego, it's about building something together that feels like truth. That's where the magic lives.
I say yeah like a fool, whole line in my chest, but I stayed in the zoo. Trauma had me for the insecurity, train me. Fear kept the key, but the door couldn't cage me. They doubted.
Collaboration over competition is a movement, and Alicia is the musical genius behind it. She creates all the custom music. Check her out on IG, TikTok, and YouTube.
The cap off, take the cap off. The cap off. Let it pop, let it snap, been holding all this fire, had it tucked in the back. Take the cap off, let it spill, let it drop. Keep it solid too long, let the pressure go.
Your power changes everything. See, the ancestors knew better. That ancestral wisdom in the lineage is protection. Long before people started throwing around words like energy and awareness, your ancestors already understood something real simple. Everybody does not get access to your sacred space. It's like 50 feet. Give me 50 feet. Like for real. Don't get in my personal space. And a lot of traditional cultures, being a healer, an elder, or someone who has knowledge comes with structure. You couldn't just walk up with a problem and expect full access. There were steps, patience, and discipline. People had to show respect before deeper guidance was even on the table. That was their protection. When wisdom and spiritual responsibility gets treated like public property, they lose their strength. Our ancestors understood that knowledge had to be guarded because the wrong hands would misuse it or drain it or even twist it into something that was never meant to be. And that kind of gatekeeping wasn't about ego. It was about keeping the balance strong so the work stayed solid for the community and the generations coming behind them. That responsibility did not disappear. What it built was clarity for the moment that you're living in. It becomes a part of who gets passed forward. Also, what gets passed forward with that person. When you let constant chaos drain you, you're not just losing energy right now, you're weakening something that was meant to last longer than you. Protecting your energy as part of that inheritance. That's why grounding matters. When you deal with people who move in panic or confusion or constant noise, their energy can start taking out everything in your system if you don't get the reset yourself. You got to step away sometimes, man. Slow your breathing down. Get your body back into a steady rhythm. Go outside. Touch the ground. Sit in silence long enough to get your mind to settle. And those small moments, man, are more than people think does. That's how you reconnect with some type of calmness our ancestors relied on when they had to deal with the heavy situations without losing themselves in the process. When you're grounded, the chaos around you stops feeling like something that you have to absorb. You can hear people, understand what they're dealing with, even guide them when it makes sense. But their storms stop entering your bloodstream. You feel me? That's real protection works. For real. You got to turn your power into purpose. Alchemists, listen to me. Fueling the collective evolution is cool. Once you stop pouring your energy into situations that go nowhere, something really starts happening. Your time comes back, your focus, your mind clears up. All that energy that used to get wasted on the same conversations and problems finally has somewhere useful to go. Ideals that have been sitting in the background start breathing again. Work that actually matters starts moving because your attention isn't scattered across everybody else's stuff. A lot of people don't realize how important that change is. The best thing for you that you can offer the world isn't running around trying to rescue everybody. What people actually benefit from is seeing how someone who moves with discipline in a clear mind. When your life has structure and direction, people notice it whether you're talking about it or not. The example is going to go a lot further than advice ever will. Operating at your highest level doesn't mean that life is perfect. It just means that you're protecting yourself, that you work hard to build and using it where it actually makes a difference. The more grounded you stay, the more your work, your ideals, and your presence starts contributing to something bigger than just your personal circle. Real change spreads through people who stayed centered enough to keep building instead of constantly putting out fires. That's why checking in with yourself every day matters. Before you even allow your energy to start being drained by everything as you're walking through the day, take a few moments and get your mind right. Slow your breathing down, clear your head, and remind yourself what belongs to you and what doesn't. So from that place, when you start at the beginning of your day, you will move with intention instead of reacting to everything that shows up and around you, because you'll be operating from overflow instead of exhaustion. Everything will change. So you're not running around drained trying to fix every situation. You'll be leading from a place where your energy is very clear and focused. From there, the guidance that you give and the example that you set actually will move things forward. That's how real contribution happens. not from burning yourselves out, from staying clear enough just to keep building. I'll be right back after this. I'm serious about this, man. You got to catch your life. Catch your life. It's you versus energy vampires. And I'm going to give you a perfect example when I get back.
She don't chase, she conjures, speaks in stars, walks in thunder, got moonlight in her bones, burning sage while she moans. She got oils on her dress, truth in her tongue. A yes is a blessing and no makes you run. She don't sugarcoat spells, don't whisper soft lies. She'll read you to filth and kiss between sides.
Hey family, it's me. Glasses on and glasses off. However you know me, I'm honored to be the face behind the Blended Healing Realms podcast. Every week we talk wellness, energy, and real life steps to grow through what we go through. Pull up a chair, grab some tea, and if you want to keep this energy going, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok at Chamaka Essentials. Same vibe, more ways to connect. I'll see you there.
Blacker than I ever been, despite the lies and fine print behind the devil's grin. See, I was told our skin was sin, they told me this was punishment. But I feel like I'm sunning a mitochondrial evidence of a victim. I took each affliction as character building. Now look at a nigga, something to brag about. How the supremacy of God been fucking showing out. Now everything I breathe on got to venerate my righteous mouth, restore it in black.
Welcome back. Let's get into this, man. Because I really need to say this. I need you to consider where addictions come into the picture. A lot of chaos people keep repeating is tied to some type of dependency. Sometimes it's substances. Sometimes it's attention. It could be drama. It could be validation or the constant need for somebody else to take your emotional weight. Addiction isn't always about drugs or alcohol. Some people are addicted to patterns that keep their life in the same place. That's why the cycles repeat. When someone is caught inside of an addiction, whether it's chemical or behavioral, they're not just dealing with the bad habit. They're dealing with the loop. And that loop keeps them reaching for the relief instead of the responsibility. Alchemists, be very clear. It keeps them looking for the quick hit instead of for a real change. And if you're not careful, you can get pulled into the loop with them by trying to manage the damage it keeps creating. But that's not your role. You can care about somebody without becoming a part of their addiction cycle. They are sucking the life force out of you. They are sucking the life force out of you. You can support someone without taking on the consequences of choices that they refuse to change. Real recovery, real growth, always requires a person to face themselves and make different decisions. Nobody can do that for them. Nobody. All you can do is stay clear, disciplined, and keep your life moving in a direction that reflects that. When people see someone living with clarity instead of chaos, it shows them something real. It shows them another way to actually live, and that it does exist. And when somebody truly gets tired of repeating the same cycle, that example becomes a path that they can choose to walk, but they still have to walk it themselves. Ashe? All right. I was compelled to say that. I hope whoever needed that message got that message. All right? All right. Remember, if there's anything that you got to remember today, please remember that your power changes everything. Everything. That's it. I'm done. I said what I said. I'm up out of here. Don't try to hold on to me. I'm out of here. I'm gone. I'll see you when I see you. I might be back later on today. Who knows? Otherwise, be safe. Be careful. Guard your peace, man. I know that shit is running around in your mind a mile a minute. There's so much shit going on. And I know you feeling some type of way. I know it. I know it. Just don't allow that to keep ruling over your mind. You got to fight it. You got to fight it. Fight it. Don't fall into it. It's just going to lead you down another road that you don't need to be on. You're just getting yourself out of the dark now. Keep going. Keep going. Momentum is on your side. I'll be rooting for you. All right. I'll see you all around. Be well.
I got our medicine. Some come in bottles, some come in people, some come in prayers we never finish. And I've been trying to figure out which one heals and which one just hides the hurt. I ain't tryna be deep, I'm just tired of feeling sick. Tired of chasing them in bottles that never fix it. Got trauma in my bloodstream, love in my lungs, both hard to breathe. Still gasping for peace. I say I'm healing, but I still crave pain. Cause at least that reminds me I'm still in the game. Swallow my pride like another pill, but it still burns going down, it still kills. Every cure comes with a tell me what's the difference between coping and dying slow. You call it growth, but it just feels like letting go. Every day I choose between pain and less pain. Both of them whisper my name, yeah. Both of them call me home. I'm trading addictions, pills for your touch, whiskey for love. Call it recovery, call it relapse. Either way, I can't get enough. I'm trading addictions, one goes for another affliction. Yeah, I'm sober, but I'm still feeling for something that feels like It's crazy how peace feels foreign. No silence get loud when a storm ends. I said I'm done, but the shakes don't stop, and my mind keeps pouring another shot.
You don't quit the pain, you just find new ways to survive it.
You ever break free just to crawl back in? Tell yourself just one last time again. And yeah, that's me, fighting off my own skin, trying to figure out where the hell I've been. Still lost in my own cure. Tell me what's the cure for being too away. finding God in despair. Every fix is a different kind of chain. I'm loyal to my own pain. Addicted to breaking. I'm trading addictions, faith for control, love for the hit. It's not the drug, it's the emptiness it fits. Call it recovery, call it pretend, but I don't even know who I am again. I'm trading addiction, just call it survival with conviction. Still shaking, still standing, still shaking, still standing, still standing. You made me better, but only in pieces. You were my rehab, then my relapse sequence. Now I'm sober in body, but craving in soul. How do you heal what's never been whole? Still healing, still holding up to try. Till I find something worth saving, 'cause healing don't mean to stop hurting. Don't mean I stop hurting. We all got our medicine. Some come in bottles, some come in people, some come in prayers we never finish. And I've been trying to figure out which one heals and which one just hides the hurt. I ain't trying to be deep, I'm just tired of feeling sick. Tired of chasing them in bottles that never fix it. Got trauma in my bloodstream, love in my lungs, both hard to breathe. Still gasping for peace. I say I'm healing, but I still crave pain, 'cause at least that reminds me I'm still in the game. Swallow my pride like another pill, but it still burns going down, it still kills. Every cure comes with a tell me what's the difference between coping and dying slow. You call it growth, but it just feels like letting go. Every day I choose between pain and less pain. Both of them whisper my name, yeah. Both of them call me home. I'm trading addictions, pills for your touch, whiskey for love. Call it recovery, call it relapse. Either way, I can't get enough. I'm trading addictions, one goes for another affliction. Yeah, I'm sober, but I'm still feeling for something.